Good day, doctor. I'm Yang-min. I'm going to brief the case study we selected and express my opinion as an individual who is studying psychology about the problem area of this case study. The case study we selected has significant study value in psychology of human development. In the case study, the researcher Jacob Ornanas interviewed a 4-year-old boy called London. The interview aimed to test the boy's level of cognitive and moral development. In the interview, Jacob Ornanas used many classic questions, including egocentrism-related questions, questions regarding conservation of mass, Hans dilemma, and other questions related to moral. London knows that he has a sister, but he cannot think from the perspective of his sister that she also has a brother. However, his performance is very consistent with the cognitive characteristics of his age, because children aged 2 to 7 are in the pre-operational stage and have egocentric features in their thinking. They think that the world seen by others is the same as what they see, so he thinks that the two robots can see each other like him. Children at this stage can only think from their own perspectives. London gave wrong answers on questions regarding weight, volume, shape, quantity, and so on, which is because children in pre-operational stage have not yet acquired the concept of conservation of mass. In addition, children at this stage can only push their thinking forward, not backward. For example, they know 3 plus 2 equals 5, but they don't know 5 minus 2 equals 3. Moreover, when they pay attention to one aspect of things, they often ignore other aspects. Their thinking is of concentration, which means they can only use a standard or dimension when making judgments. They still cannot use more dimensions at the same time. Kohlberg summed up 3 levels of moral development, according to London's answer to Hans' dilemma. He has exceeded the first level, which is pre-conventional level, because he considered others. London's answer was Hans should steal the medicine. His reason might be that Hans' wife has been nice to Hans, so he should take the risk of stealing the medicine and save his wife's life. To sum up, the cognitive deficits that London are performing now are quite normal, because these performances are completely in line with the cognitive characteristics of a toddler aged 4. Therefore, parents do not need to worry about this.
Assalamualaikum and hi, I am Nura Shikin binti Hamzah, metric number 269581. I will continue the presentation with the factors that considered play a significant role in learning the behavior. There are 3 main factors, which is classical conditioning, operant conditioning, and cognitive learning. The first factor is classical conditioning. Russian scientists identify one of the several modes of learning known as classical conditioning, often called as responder conditioning. It is linked to a stimulus that elicits a reaction without any conscious effort on your part. Everything boils down to predictable patterns of stimuli and reaction, from how we communicate to how we feel. The variation in human conduct may be traced back to the varied learning environments in which people have been immersed. Before, during, and after conditioning are the 3 phases that make up classical conditioning. This is the 3 phases of conditioning. First stage is before conditioning. In this stage, being exposed to a UCS, a living being will exhibit behavior that cannot be attributed to any previous experiment. This element signifies that the environment has elicited a reaction or behavior that is unlearned and untaught. From the video watch, London, the 4-year-old kid, showed that he has egocentrism, that is a failure to see from other people's point of view that he showed. Another part of the video that related in the first stage is when the speaker asked London if he has any siblings, that he responds he has a sister named Alisa. Not just that, the speakers asked him if his sister has any brothers or sisters, but he responds no. Second stage is during conditioning. In this case, the unresponsive stimulus is linked to the responsive stimulus and the latter is renamed the conditioned stimulus. From the video, he showed egocentrism again with the toys that he assumed that the toys could see each other, which would not in that case. However, London hinted being a little bit past with Haynes' dilemma. He was able to, in scenes, look past the law, legal and illegal. Another part from the video that related in the second stage is London was able to tell the speaker that he was right. It was right for the man to steal the drug to save his wife's life, which is make the speaker say the kid has hinted the fact that he was past the pre-conditional level. Last stage is after conditioning. After the unconditioned stimulus is paired with the conditioned stimulus, a conditioned response may be formed. For example, when the speaker said that the kid assumed that the flattened ball of sand meant more sand even though they were the same size balls. Next is operant conditioning. Opportunistic conditioning has more significant effects than classical conditioning. Operant conditioning, commonly refers to as instrumental conditioning, is a teaching strategy that uses incentives and penalties to modify behavior. An association between voluntary conduct and a result for that action is created via this learning process. Lastly, the cognitive learning. That is to learn how to use your brain's capacity to its fullest. Cognitive learning is regarded as an active method. As a result, our ability for memory and retention is deepened. It is simpler for people to link new knowledge with pre-existing thoughts. That's all for my part. Thank you.
Hi doctor, I'm Lim Kok Yong. Today I'm going to explain the answer to the question. The question is to identify the primary biological foundation of psychology linked to behavior or phenomena in the video. In this video, all the behavior and conservation with the child are related to the human brain. Therefore, there are several parts of human brain involved in this video, which are cerebral cortex, occipital lobes, forebrain, and neurons. First, the cerebral cortex involved in this video because the function of cerebral cortex is to responsible for language, memory, reasoning, coordination, and others. In this video, London answered the question of Jacob, even the answer of London is wrong. For example, London just said the two symbols are not the same. Even the two symbols are the same. After one of the symbol become fractal. Next slide is about the occipital lobes. The occipital lobe is one of the major human brain lobe pair in the human brain. The function of this part is to explain the information from eyes into word as the person see it. For example, London can recognize what are the things he saw on the table through his vision and answers the question of Jacob. Next is about the forebrain. The forebrain actually is an important part of human brain which is responsible for processing of information pertaining to sophisticated cognitive operation and others. In this video, there are two glasses of water with the same amount. After Jacob poured one of the glasses of water into a bigger jar, London thinks the bigger jar has more water. Even the amount of water of two glasses of water are the same. Lastly, in the video, neuron also perform its function. For example, London pointed out that which row have more penny on the table. It shows that London resists the instruction from Jacob to point out which row have more penny. The neuron uses the sensory information and send the motor to command the finger on London to point out which row has more penny on the table. And that's all from me. Thank you.
Good day, Doctor. I'm Liu Cheng-yi, and my metric number is 269501. I will present the answer of the question 4 in this video. The question is describe two suggestions on how to resolve the issue from the case study, which is the video we found. There are two problems that occur in the video, so there is one solution for both problems. First, the issue is intuitive issue. The suggestion of the intuitive issue is staying open to the boy's perception without judgment and trying to teach him about the logic behind things. The parents and the older people cannot judge him directly when he gives the wrong answer. Instead, help him to understand the logic behind the correct answer. For example, the parents can give the guidelines to the boy when he faces the problem. Hence, it will help him to develop logical thinking himself. It also will not reduce his intuition because intuition can make people choose the things or method that the most prefer. Next, the second issue is anchor-centric issue. The suggestion for this issue is that the parent should be patient with the boy when he is facing the anchor-centric problem. When the boy is facing the problem, such as did not see the matter from the other view, parents should ask him the reason softly, but not just scold him, because the inaccurate answer. So if the boy is still stand for his initial answer, the parents should be patient and make him feel ill. The emotions presented by the parents to the boy will affect the boy's perception, so the patient will help him to reduce the anchor-centric. So this is our answer for question 4. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and good day. My name is Nazira Asri, number metric 269520. So the first theory of psychology that related to the chosen video is cognitive theory. So the target goals was to observe and expand the process that infant and children go through in order to develop into individual capable of reasoning and thinking. So based on this video, the child demonstrates egocentrism, which is defined as a failure to see things from the perspective of others. It was proven when the researcher asked if he had any sibling, and he replied that he did. His sister name is Elisa. So when the researcher asked if Elisa had any brothers or sister, he replied that she did not. Next is the developmental theory. Developmental theory are concerned with children on how they behave, change and grow throughout their life. So he was able to see beyond the law of what is legal and what is illegal and say what was right. He believed that the man was right in stealing the drug in order to save his wife's life. So the moral development in childhood is one of the most important aspects in socialization. It is a process in which children learn to identify between what is wrong and what is right based on social and cultural law and norms. Thank you.